Hello, and welcome back to Kale's Travails. Settle in. I have a feeling this is going to be a long one. Much to share. So, this morning I woke up in Odense and tentatively got my feet on the floor and was delighted to discover that I could walk. So, thank you. I'm telling you, yesterday I spoke to, I don't know, like 7 saints and all of my relatives that have gone on to the afterlife, and definitely the Almighty, and who knows who else. I want to continue. I mean, if it's got to be my time, then fine, but I want to go. Prayers answered. Yay, Camino miracles, they continue. So I got packed and I called my taxi driver from 2 days ago, and he brought me back out to where I had started, or where I had ended 2 days ago in Linares. So first of all, taxi driver, could tell he was a little sleepy this morning, much less talkative. Also, there was so much fog that he was actually driving slowly, which felt weird. I'm so used to taxi drivers like zipping, but no, he was calm, cool, and collected on those cloudy mountain roads. So he dropped me off catty corner to where I had gotten picked up. I have a picture of that on my Instagram if you want to see the busted bus stop in the mist. And I started walking, and it felt fine. Like, I was expecting to get out there and, maybe hobble a little bit, I don't know. I wasn't expecting it to go great, and it actually went pretty great. My body was pretty happy, which is great because I can't wait to stop taking these anti-inflammatories. They do not agree with my stomach. I spent, I'm going to say, at least 80% of my day today feeling like I had to throw up. And I'm pretty sure it's the anti-inflammatory's fault. So I appreciate what they're doing for my foot. I do not appreciate what they're doing for my stomach. Can't wait to not be taking them anymore. So I take off through the mist, took a ton of photos because it just felt, honestly, it felt like I was going to be transported back in time. It felt like one of those movies where all of a sudden this fog rolls in and you're in this mossy green forest, and then it's, I don't know, the 1200s. So every time I saw a modern car, I was like, well, I guess I'm still here. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was cold though. Usually when it's chilly out and I walk, I'm like, oh, this feels so good. Today I actually got like cold. But I would prefer cold to hot any day of the week, especially while exercising. So I'm complaining, but I'm not really complaining. The walk continued, went through more of these fantastical forests. Couple different things ran through my head. One, I was expecting some kind of mystical creature, right? Like a white hart, or I don't know, a small dragon, a unicorn. I don't know, it just felt all otherworldly. And then, I'm not gonna get the quote right because I didn't look it up, but I'm looking at these trees, I'm like, man, these trees look old. And all I could think of was Legolas from Lord of the Rings going, these trees are old, very old. So I had a fantastic time in my own head. It was an up and down kind of day, and I made it to Sea. Now, Sea was my first possible stop. When I got to Sea, I stopped for food because I was dying. I did not feel at all well. Between the anti-inflammatory, the fact that I probably only ate 2/3 of a peach for breakfast because the other third was really bruised from being in my bag for a couple days, I needed food. So I had a tortilla francesa, i.e. a plain omelet, and a clara, which I just adore those. They make me feel good. But after I ate that and I realized that, okay, my stomach's gonna behave, I did a little exercise of where's my body at? And honestly, I felt good. And so listening to your body has to go both ways. When it's tired and hurting, you stop. When it tells you, bish, we still got rocket fuel, you go. So I went on to the next place with a bed, and I was really, really pleased with myself that I kept going, because I could have stopped, right? There was no albergue there. I could have stopped, but it felt good to be out and moving again, and I was going to respect that it felt good and just keep rolling. So I did. More up and down, another couple, I think it was only 3 more miles that I went, and I stopped in Piñor. Now in Piñor, there's a hostel. That's where I am. Welcome to the hostel hotel. I don't know what the differences are, to be honest. I have my own room, which I love. But I'm in the town. It is a small town, and I don't see it. So I pull up the actual internet and look on a map. It's not in town. It's outside of town. And at this point I'm done walking. So I call a cab to take me out here. Right as I'm looking up a phone number for a cab, it starts raining. So I took shelter in a health center. They had their front doors open, so I just kind of stood under an awning, called a cab. He came to get me. Another just absolutely lovely elder gentleman. Cab drivers are my new favorite humans. So he takes me and I ask him, hey, what time do you start tomorrow? And he says, not till 8 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I have to get back to the same spot so I don't miss anything on the Camino. And he's like, no, you don't. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'll show you. I'll show you. So as we're going, he's like, here's where the Camino is, and here's where it crosses, and here's where it zags, and blah, blah, blah. And then at some point he's like, and here is where you have to pick it up again. And then we go down this huge hill, huge hill to wind up here at the hostel. So it turns out I'm kind of parallel to the track. He had to go up and then back down again to get where we are. So I actually really am not missing very much. I think I'm gonna miss maybe a kilometer. And I think the deadly uphill I have to start with tomorrow should make up for that. So grateful that I don't have to take a cab in the morning. He was so helpful. Now, as we're pulling up, he's like, do you have a reservation? I said, no, I don't. Their phone wasn't working. And he's like, oh, they might not have space. I was like, yeah, I know. He said, well, here's my card. If they don't, just call me. I'll come back real quick. I'll take you to Saya. He said, it's too bad. He works at a place that has the taxi and also has a hostel. He's like, we're full. I said, I know. I called you first. I know you're full. So we get here and he's like, you know what? I know the woman here. Let me go in and talk to her. So how blessed am I to have these incredible people? So he comes in, he's calling for her and someone's like, she's busy. He's like, we'll wait a minute. And then she comes, he gets me a room. Not only that, I asked him how much it cost and he told me €6. So I have like my bills wallet and my change wallet separate. So I go through my bills wallet and I pull out a 5 and I give it to him and I start to go to my change wallet. He's like, nah, this is good. I'm like, no, I have another one. And I pulled it out and he's like, no. Okay. So on top of everything else, he gave me a discount, which was just so unfathomably sweet. So yeah, I'm here. And they're in the middle of a lunch rush. Now I arrived at like, I don't know, 1:30. Lunch rushes don't usually start here till 2, so I thought I'd be in the clear, but it starts earlier at this particular establishment. And the woman was like, sure, you can have a room. Here's the key, up the stairs, go to the right, it's on the left. And I was like, cool. She didn't charge me, she didn't ask for information. She's just like, I'm busy, go away. Which is not the first time I've experienced that here. There is a certain amount of, I trust you, I'm busy, go away, which I find both confusing and wonderful. So I come in, I unpack a little bit. You can see some of my stuff in the background. And I decide to shower, obviously. And by the way, it was freezing in here. They had the windows open, freezing. So I close all the windows. I try to turn on the shower. I had a battle with the shower and hands down, it won. Hands down. First of all, the shower is minuscule. Second of all, I could not get hot water. I couldn't get hot water. The best I could get was tepid, which those of you who know me well, I like my showers so hot that your skin might fall off if you're not used to it. So I'm like shivering in the shower and trying to like slope up and be like, splash yourself with freezing. Not freezing. It was like colder than room temperature, but like not freezing, but nonetheless. Ooh. Now on top of that, the shower, the shower head hangs this way, right? And the controls are this way. And they're one of the kinds that lets like, not knobs. And so I kept bumping into it and turning my shower off. But the other problem was I couldn't turn it on all the way when it was up there because the water was too forceful and it would go out and splash all over the floor. So I'm trying to like put it on just a little bit and I'm like soaking my hair when I don't mean to wash it and I'm soaking the floor and it's cold and it was a very brief shower. I lost the war and I respect that sometimes that's just the way of the world. I lost the war. After that, I laid down for a very brief bit, couldn't really fall asleep. And then I went downstairs and I was gonna just have a drink. You know, I just wanted to not be in my room, especially because there's no Wi-Fi in here. There is Wi-Fi in the hallway. So I guess I'll post this from the hallway later. So I went downstairs, I was gonna have a drink. And then as soon as I walked in there, I was like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Now I had only eaten that plain omelet, like, I don't know, 2.5 hours before this, maybe 3. I was starving. So yeah, I guess I'll eat. So I had tortilla and I had a glass of albarino, which apparently is from this part of Spain. And it was fabulous. It was fabulous. I usually drink beer after walking, but I had already cooled down and showered and changed, and that wine just, it was awesome. And that brings us to now. Dinner later, theoretically. I'm really full at the moment, but we'll see where we land. And then tomorrow morning, it seems like they don't want me to leave until 7:45. I don't know why they want to see me in the morning. This woman, again, was super busy and trying to talk to me while running around. I don't know what's going on. I still haven't paid her. I saw her repeatedly. Haven't paid her. She hasn't taken down my information. I don't really know what's going on. But I am elated that I could move today. I'm feeling really optimistic for tomorrow, although I imagine that after going, over 9 miles today, tomorrow might be tougher just because I'll be tired. But I'm glad I pushed today. So tomorrow, I want to walk to Castro de Zone or further, but there's nowhere to sleep in Castro de Zone. So no matter what, tomorrow will require a cab because the next sleeping location is just too far away. So I'll let you know where I land and how far I walked. Theoretically, I'm anywhere between like 5 to 6 days from Santiago. So we're nearing the end of this daily diary. Thanks as always for tuning in. I'll keep you posted on tomorrow's update, and have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, whatever.